Imagine starting each morning determined to make healthier choices. You skip the sugary cereal and swap your coffee creamer for a plant-based alternative. You choose whole grain bread over white bread and pay extra for foods labeled natural, organic, or heart healthy. It feels like you're giving your body exactly what it needs. But by mid-afternoon, something shifts. Your energy drops and focusing becomes more difficult. Your stomach feels uncomfortable. You start craving another cup of coffee or something sweet. And despite all that effort, the scale barely changes. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of adults go through this same frustrating cycle every day. And here's the surprising part. In many cases, the issue isn't simply eating too much. It's eating foods that appear healthy on the surface, but may not work well for your body. Today, we're taking a closer look at 10 foods many people consider healthy. But depending on the ingredients, processing, and your individual health, they may not be the best choice for your gut, metabolism, or long-term energy. And don't worry, this isn't about fear. It's about understanding what you're eating and learning simple alternatives that can make a real difference. By the end of this video, you'll know which foods deserve a second look and which easy swaps may help support better digestion, steadier energy, and better overall health. So why does this matter more after 30? Before we get to the first food, let's answer one important question. Why do so many people notice digestive issues, stubborn weight gain, and lower energy after turning 30? The answer isn't just age. It's how the body gradually changes over time. As we get older, metabolism naturally slows. Muscle mass begins to decline unless we actively maintain it. Our digestive system also be. Recovery from inflammation can take longer than it did in our 20s. Now imagine adding highly processed foods on top of those natural changes. That's when many people start noticing bloating, afternoon fatigue, and cravings that seem impossible to control. Scientists are also learning more about something called the gut-brain axis. Your digestive system and your brain are in constant communication. In fact, researchers often describe the gut as a second brain because of the enormous network of nerves and microbes living inside it. When your digestive system is healthy, that communication works smoothly. But when your gut becomes irritated or your diet lacks balance, it can affect how you feel both physically and mentally. That's one reason digestive health has become one of the fastest-growing areas of medical research. Quick reminder before we continue. The information in this video is intended for educational purposes and is based on current. Let's move on to a food found in millions of American kitchens: breakfast cereal. For decades, we've been told cereal is the perfect way to start the day. Quick, convenient, fortified with vitamins, and high in fiber. It sounds like everything your body needs. But here's what most people never consider. When food companies design cereal, they're not just thinking about nutrition. They're also thinking about shelf life, texture, taste, and keeping you coming back for another bowl tomorrow morning. Many breakfast cereals, even those marketed as healthy, are made from grains that have been finely processed. During processing, the natural structure of the grain changes dramatically. Why does that matter? Because your digestive system doesn't just respond to what you eat, it also responds to how that food has been processed. Think about the difference between eating a whole apple and drinking apple juice. Both come from the same fruit, but your body handles them very differently. The same principle often applies to grains. The more processed they become, the faster your digestive system may break them down. For some people, that can lead to a quicker rise in blood sugar, followed by an energy dip a few hours later. That's one reason some people feel hungry again soon after breakfast, even when the meal seemed healthy. Here's another detail worth noticing. Many cereals contain added sugars under names that don't immediately sound like sugar. Rice syrup, evaporated cane juice, malt extract, corn syrup solids, honey powder, fruit concentrate. They may have different names, but they all add to your total intake of added sweeteners. The result is that your taste buds begin expecting more sweetness throughout the day. Suddenly, that afternoon cookie feels impossible to resist. An evening dessert becomes much more tempting. This doesn't happen because you lack willpower. Appetite is influenced by hormones, blood sugar patterns, sleep, stress, physical activity, and the foods you consistently choose over time. That's why sustainable nutrition isn't about perfection. It's about building habits that help your body work with you, not against you. The better choice. Instead of relying on heavily processed cereals every morning, consider breakfasts built around minimally processed foods. A bowl of steel-cut oats topped with berries and walnuts, plain Greek yogurt with fresh fruit, eggs with vegetables and whole grain sourdough toast, or a smoothie made with unsweetened yogurt, spinach, frozen berries, and chia seeds. These meals generally offer a better balance of protein, healthy fats, and fiber, which can help many people stay satisfied longer. And here's something interesting. When people gradually cut back on added sugar at breakfast, they often find that intensely sweet foods start to taste almost too sweet after a few weeks. The palate adjusts, and cravings usually become easier to manage. Sometimes improving health isn't about eating exotic superfoods. It's about allowing the body to rediscover what real food tastes like. That naturally raises an important question. If these foods aren't ideal, why are they still marketed as healthy? It's a fair question. Nutrition science is incredibly complex. A food can offer one beneficial feature while still containing ingredients that may not be the best choice for everyone. Marketing often highlights a single positive claim: high fiber, contains vitamins, low fat, without giving equal attention to the full nutritional picture. That's why learning to read ingredient lists and looking beyond the front of the package can be such a valuable skill for long-term health. Sometimes the healthiest-looking package isn't the healthiest choice. And the next food on the list may be one of the clearest examples of that. Up next is a drink that millions of people choose every day because they believe it supports digestion. Ironically, for some, it may be doing exactly the opposite. Now here's a food that surprises almost everyone: yogurt. For years, yogurt has been promoted as one of the best foods for digestive health, and in many cases, it absolutely can be. But there's a catch. Not every yogurt is created equal. In fact, 2 yogurt cups sitting side by side in the grocery store can have completely different effects on nutrition. One may contain live cultures, high-quality protein, and very little added sugar. The other may be closer to dessert than a healthy breakfast. So let's take a closer look at why the label can be misleading. Imagine shopping after work and picking up a yogurt cup labeled "low fat, made with real fruit, contains probiotics." Everything on the front sounds healthy. But when you turn the container over, something interesting appears. Instead of 5 or 6 simple ingredients, there are 15, maybe even 20. Added sugar, fruit concentrate, modified starch, artificial flavors, food coloring, stabilizers, sweeteners. At that point, there's one simple question to ask. If this product is naturally healthy, why does it need so many extra ingredients? That's where reading the ingredient list becomes far more useful than relying on marketing claims. And that brings us to the sugar problem. Many flavored yogurts contain surprisingly high amounts of added sugar. Some single-serving cups have sugar levels similar to what you would expect from a dessert. Does that mean flavored yogurt should never be part of the diet? Not necessarily. The bigger picture matters. Total daily diet matters. Activity level matters. Overall health matters. But when breakfast starts with a heavily sweetened yogurt, followed by a sweet coffee and then an afternoon snack, added sugar intake can rise much faster than expected. That constant exposure to sweetness can also make naturally healthy foods feel less satisfying. Fresh blueberries suddenly seem less exciting. Plain yogurt starts to feel boring. An apple no longer tastes sweet enough. Over time, the brain becomes conditioned to expect intense sweetness. And that leads to another important point. Protein matters more than many people realize. Another major difference between yogurts is protein. Higher protein options can help people feel full longer, Protein also plays an important role in maintaining muscle with age. After the age of 30, preserving muscle becomes increasingly important for long-term health. Muscle supports strength, balance, and mobility, and it also helps regulate metabolism. That's one reason many nutrition experts recommend including a quality source of protein with each meal whenever possible. And don't forget the fat. For years, fat was treated as the enemy. Everything became fat-free, low-fat, or light. Today, however, nutrition science presents a more balanced picture. Healthy fats can make meals more satisfying. They also help the body absorb important fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, and K. Removing fat is not automatically healthier. It depends on what replaces it. Sometimes manufacturers remove fat only to add extra sugar or starch to improve taste. That's a trade-off many consumers never notice. So what's the better choice? When possible, choose plain yogurt with simple ingredients. If sweetness is preferred, add it personally. Fresh strawberries, blueberries, sliced peaches, a handful of walnuts, a sprinkle of cinnamon, maybe a spoonful of chia seeds. Now it becomes a breakfast rich in protein, with fiber, natural flavor, and complete control over how much sweetness goes into the meal. Simple, flexible, and easy to customize. Here's a challenge to try the next time you buy yogurt. Ignore the colorful marketing on the front and turn the container around. Start by reading the ingredients. Then check the added sugar, the protein, and the total number of ingredients. That one small habit, repeated every week, can completely change the way you shop. Because once you start reading labels, food companies stop making decisions for you. You start making them for yourself. Coming up next. Now let's talk about a drink that millions of Americans reach for every single afternoon. Many believe it helps them stay energized, lose weight, and avoid sugar. But according to a growing body of research, its effects on appetite and the gut microbiome may be more complicated than most people realize. Let's take a closer look. Inside your digestive system, trillions of microorganisms are constantly at work. Together, they're known as your gut microbiome. Think of them as a bustling city. Some bacteria help produce beneficial compounds, while others assist with digestion. Others communicate with your immune system. Many even influence how your body processes certain nutrients. Scientists are now discovering that diet can shape this ecosystem over time. Different foods encourage different microbial communities. Fiber-rich vegetables, beans, fruits, and whole foods often support greater microbial diversity. Highly processed diets may do the opposite. When it comes to artificial sweeteners, the evidence is still developing. Some studies have reported changes in the composition of gut bacteria after regular consumption of certain sweeteners. Others have found much smaller effects. That's why it's important not to oversimplify the science. The key message isn't that every sugar-free drink is harmful. It's that relying on them as your primary beverage every day may not be the best long-term strategy for everyone. The hidden habit. Here's something interesting. Many people don't stop at just one diet soda. They drink 3, 4, sometimes even 6 throughout the day: morning, lunch, afternoon, and dinner. By evening, their taste buds have become accustomed to extreme sweetness. Now, plain water feels boring. Fresh fruit doesn't taste sweet enough. The cycle quietly reinforces itself, and that's often how habits, not single foods, shape health over months and years. A better alternative. You don't have to force yourself to drink plain water if you don't enjoy it. Instead, make hydration more interesting. Try sparkling mineral water with fresh lime, cold herbal tea, unsweetened iced green tea, or water infused with cucumber and mint, fresh lemon slices, or frozen berries. Small changes like these can gradually retrain your palate while helping you stay hydrated, and many people are surprised by what happens next. After just a few weeks, the intense sweetness of diet drinks often starts to taste artificial. That's because your taste buds adapt remarkably well. One important reminder: nutrition isn't about fear. It's about patterns. Having a diet soda once in a while doesn't define your health. Neither does eating one dessert. Your overall lifestyle, sleep, exercise, stress, and daily eating habits matters far more than any single product. Progress beats perfection every time. Coming up next. Now we're about to discuss one of the fastest growing industries in America, protein powders. They're advertised as the perfect solution for building muscle, losing weight, and staying healthy after 30. But are all protein powders created equal, or are some hiding ingredients your digestive system may not appreciate? Let's find out. And let's be honest, if you're over 30, you've probably heard this advice hundreds of times. Eat more protein. And honestly, it's good advice. Protein plays a critical role in maintaining muscle, supporting recovery, helping you stay full after meals, and preserving strength as you age. But here's where many people unknowingly make a mistake. They focus on how much protein they're getting without ever asking what else is coming with it. Because not all protein powders are created equal. Some are made with just one or two simple ingredients. Others contain a long list of sweeteners, gums, artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, and fillers. And sometimes those extra ingredients, not the protein itself, are what leave people feeling bloated, gassy, or uncomfortable. So why do some protein shakes cause bloating? Have you ever finished a protein shake only to feel heavy, bloated, or unusually full? There are several possible reasons. For some people, it's lactose. Even protein powders labeled as whey isolate may still contain trace amounts of lactose that sensitive individuals don't tolerate well. For others, the issue may be certain thickening agents like xanthan gum or guar gum. These ingredients are commonly used to improve texture and keep powders smooth. Many people digest them without any issues, but for some individuals, they may contribute to digestive discomfort, especially when consumed in large amounts. Another possibility is simply drinking protein too quickly. Your digestive system still needs time to process what you consume. Drinking large shakes within just a few minutes can leave your stomach working harder than necessary. More is not always better. Here's another myth worth addressing. Many people assume that if 25 grams of protein is good, then 60 grams at once must be even better. But your body does not build muscle from one oversized meal. It responds to consistent protein intake spread throughout the day. That's why many sports nutrition experts recommend distributing protein across breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks when appropriate. Small, balanced meals often work better than trying to get everything from one shake. Read beyond the front label. Protein companies know exactly what grabs your attention. Zero sugar, lean muscle, ultra premium, clinically tested, doctor formulated. Those phrases sound impressive, but marketing claims never tell the full story. Turn the container around and read the ingredient list. If the first few ingredients are easy to recognize, that is usually a good sign. If the label reads more like a chemistry textbook, it may be worth asking whether you really need all of those extras. The fewer unnecessary ingredients, the easier it is to understand exactly what you're putting into your body. Choosing a better option starts with quality. If you regularly use protein powder, look for products that have been independently tested. Choose one with minimal ingredients, no excessive added sugar, and no unnecessary fillers. And if dairy does not agree with your stomach, consider alternatives such as pea protein or a well-formulated plant-based blend. But remember something important. Protein powder is called a supplement for a reason. It is designed to supplement your diet, not replace real food. Whenever possible, build your meals around whole food protein sources: eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, chicken, beans, lentils, tofu, lean beef. These foods provide not only protein, but also vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that powders simply cannot fully replace. One simple habit can make a big difference. Here's the challenge. The next time you're shopping, do not compare brands based on the front of the container. Compare them based on the ingredient list. You may be surprised by how different two protein powders can be. even when they are sitting on the same shelf at the same price. Sometimes the healthiest choice is not the product with the loudest marketing, but the one with the simplest formula. Now let's transition to the next food. It is something almost everyone has in the kitchen. It smells amazing, tastes comforting, and for many people, it is part of the morning routine. But depending on how it is prepared, this everyday breakfast favorite may be setting you up for an energy crash long before lunchtime. Let's talk about breakfast cereals and instant oats. If asked to name one of the healthiest breakfast foods, many people would probably say oatmeal. And to be clear, plain oats can absolutely be part of a healthy diet. They are naturally rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So why is oatmeal on today's list? Because there is a major difference between plain oats and the flavored instant oatmeal packets that line supermarket shelves. Unfortunately, many people do not realize that difference. Convenience often comes at a cost. Think about a typical weekday morning. The alarm goes off and you are already running late. You need something quick, so you grab an instant oatmeal packet. 1 minute in the microwave, and breakfast is ready. It feels simple and convenient. But behind the scenes, many flavored instant oatmeals contain much more than just oats. They are often loaded with added sugar, artificial flavorings, sweeteners, and refined starches designed to improve taste and texture. Let's do a quick experiment. Imagine placing 20 fresh grapes on your kitchen table. Now imagine turning those grapes into raisins. What changes? The vitamins are still there. Some fiber remains, but something else changes dramatically. The water is almost completely removed, and when the water disappears, everything else becomes far more concentrated, including the natural sugars. That is why dried fruit deserves a closer look. Not because it is bad, but because it is incredibly easy to eat far more than you realize. Portion size changes everything. Here's the interesting part. Most people would never sit down and eat 4 large apples in one sitting or 5 cups of fresh grapes. Your stomach would tell you to stop long before that. Fresh fruit naturally contains water and fiber, which help create fullness. Now compare that to dried fruit. A small handful of raisins can come from an entire bunch of grapes. A few dates may contain the natural sugars of several whole fruits. The volume is much smaller, which makes overeating surprisingly easy, often without realizing it. Let's be honest, when most people think of healthy snacks, nuts are usually near the top of the list, and for good reason: almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans. These foods provide healthy fats, plant protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. In fact, numerous studies have linked regular nut consumption to better heart health when eaten as part of an overall balanced diet. So why are nuts on today's list? Because once again, the healthiest version and the most heavily marketed version are often 2 very different products. What happens after processing? Imagine a handful of raw almonds straight from nature. Simple, crunchy, and made from one ingredient. Now compare that with a bag labeled honey roasted, sweet and spicy, BBQ ranch, caramel crunch, or maple glazed. Suddenly, those same nuts may also contain added sugars, refined starches, extra sodium, artificial flavorings, and highly processed oils. Let's be honest. When most people think of healthy snacks, nuts are usually near the top of the list, and for good reason: almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans. These foods provide healthy fats, plant protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. In fact, numerous studies have linked regular nut consumption to better heart health when eaten as part of an overall balanced diet. So why are nuts on today's list? Because once again, the healthiest version and the most heavily marketed version are often 2 very different products. What happens after processing? Picture a handful of raw almonds straight from nature. Simple, crunchy, and made from one ingredient. Now compare that with a bag labeled honey roasted, sweet and spicy, BBQ ranch, caramel crunch, or maple glazed. Suddenly, those same nuts may also contain added sugars, refined starches, extra sodium, artificial flavorings, and highly processed oils. Healthy fats are an important part of a balanced diet, but once sugar and flavor coatings are added, it becomes much easier to keep eating. Think about how often a single handful turns into a nearly empty bag. That isn't simply a lack of willpower. Many snack products are carefully designed to maximize flavor and encourage repeat eating. The combination of sweetness, saltiness, and crunch activates multiple reward pathways in the brain. That's why stopping after one serving can feel surprisingly difficult. Now let's talk about portion awareness. Here's something interesting. A small handful of nuts is usually around one serving, but very few people actually measure that amount. Instead, they eat directly from the package, and before they know it, they've had 3 or 4 servings. Again, nuts aren't the problem, the habit is. One simple trick is to pour a serving into a small bowl instead of eating straight from the bag. We finally reached the last food on today's list, and honestly, this one may be the most surprising: fruit juice. For decades, fruit juice has been associated with health. Parents pack it in children's lunchboxes. Hotels serve it at breakfast. Many adults start every morning with a large glass because it feels like a healthy choice. After all, it's made from fruit. So what's the problem? The answer isn't as simple as saying juice is bad. The real question is this: what happens to fruit when it becomes juice? Let's compare whole fruit versus fruit juice. Imagine holding a fresh orange in your hand. Before you can eat it, you have to peel it, chew it, and digest it. That process takes time. Along the way, you also get fiber, which helps slow digestion and contributes to fullness. Now imagine drinking a large glass of orange juice. Depending on the serving size, it may contain the juice of several oranges. But here's the difference. Most of the fiber has been removed. And because it's labeled 100% juice, people may immediately assume they can drink as much as they want. But 100% juice doesn't mean unlimited. It simply means the product contains juice rather than added fruit flavoring. Portion size still matters. A small serving enjoyed occasionally is very different from drinking large glasses several times a day. As with almost everything in nutrition, context matters. So what about smoothies? Are they a better option? Smoothies can be an excellent choice, especially when they're made at home. The key difference is that homemade smoothies often keep the fiber from the fruit. Better yet, you can balance them by adding protein and healthy fats. For example, frozen berries, plain Greek yogurt, spinach, chia seeds, and unsweetened milk or fortified plant-based milk. That combination provides much more than sweetness. It creates a meal that supports fullness and offers a wider variety of nutrients. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more evidence-informed nutrition content designed to make healthy living simpler, not more confusing. And I'd love to hear from you. Which food on today's list surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.